What's up, everybody? JB here. Welcome to episode number 8 of the AEG Cast. I have my co-host, Dalton.
Yeah, co-host this time. Cool. Episode 8, we've tied Star Wars.
Yes.
So, with us as always, we've got Gustav back from the dead. He missed last week. What's going on, man?
Hanging in there. Hey, everybody.
And then we've got White Sun every week. He's a constant.
I know, right?
Yeah, the Honduran heartthrob.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Back again for the third time. We've got Boots.
3B.
Yep. So, yeah, we've got a pretty packed episode tonight, too. So we've got
we have a
touch
lot of stuff to talk about.
And we've got the Red Dead announcement coming up, so stick around.
Yes. So our main thing, as always, we start with what you've been playing. Who wants to kick it off? Because we've all played a lot of stuff this week.
Yeah, it's different.
I'll go because I'm just going to be about mine.
Okay.
I played a lot of the DBZ fighters.
It's Fighters.
Fighters. I want to say it's English language. Nobody knows how to use it.
Oh,
And-
Dragon Ball.
So, I played a lot of that. Overall, like it's Dalton hit it right on the head there. Meh. Is the best way. I'll get more into detail about it later, but
Once you've played some more.
no, like later tonight I'll talk.
just
a little
good.
bit.
So we'll get it out of the way now. Yeah.
All right.
Dude, talk.
So,
Yeah.
Discuss.
So the game, once you get through, and Dalton will attest to this, the 2-hour licensing agreement that you have to screw.
That was even a beta. And
Yeah,
it was like,
it was-
why is this the longest thing I've
Yeah,
ever
you
had?
do like 3 of them.
It was ridiculous. Very, very similar to Combat Attack and Street Fighter,
Yeah.
especially
Well, I
Street
mean,
Fighter.
it's Guilty Gear, guys.
Yeah.
So it's very, like, from what I've seen and from what I even played in the beta, it's very similar to those.
Yeah,
As far as a fighting game goes, it's great.
I could see
a
we
fighting
both,
game. It's great.
We
but
both see it
a Dragon
in tournaments.
like professional gaming.
I could see Evo sporting it this
Yes,
year.
definitely.
Yes, absolutely.
It looks amazing, especially
Yes.
like the ultimate finishers. While they are complete bullshit, and I'll share that in a second. But they look amazing. It's probably one of the best graphically looking games. It looks like it came right out of the anime.
Yeah.
It is that good.
I've definitely
It's the
noticed
best
that.
looking game by far.
The story mode so far, I went through the first arc of the story mode, and there is not, for the first time, the original story mode in this game.
Like, it's not all the other
Yeah,
series.
there is an Android 21,
Yeah, it's a
and
new story.
she's the main antagonist, and you fight against her and clones of Z fighters. Yeah, Krillin can't even be
Did we
Krillin
lose it?
No.
in this. Krillin doesn't even clone of himself.
Yeah, no
Lord Almighty.
Yeah.
Trying to slow game.
Is Android 21 a new character?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's
So
a
is
game, actually. I think.
Yeah.
So-
Nick Kiriyama wrote her just for this.
Dope.
And
Very cool.
then in the game, if you remember, you have like a kind of like a board.
The board game, yeah.
It's a board game. That's how you go about leveling up your people and
Oh.
actually get to where you have to fight. And you have a certain amount of moves to get to the boss.
Okay.
If you don't, you gotta redo the whole board again.
Yep. Tournaments are back. You can, Xenoverse, the tournaments were a little miss, when they were open stuff. But tournaments are back and are pretty difficult, but they're all pretty fun. One of the best that I liked about the game is that you had 3 group teams that you would fight against, and if you got really good at it, you could switch them out and do special combos with you and them at the same time. But the thing that made me rage quit the game, I had it for a couple days, and I probably put in at least 20 hours of gameplay into it, which is the most I put in a long time.
Wow.
I mean, I had like 24 hours total last year on PlayStation because I had
True.
my Xbox. And I was sitting there, and I was playing through the arcade mode, and I S-ranked the first 2 fights in it, and it's a trophy to S-rank third one. And I wasn't going to S-rank it, but I would have completed it. I was down 1-3 into this when I have Piccolo on my team. He's my
It's
my
cheap
ace in
as
the
fuck,
hole.
is
He's
what
your
it
ace
is.
in the hole.
He's my
It's
ace
some
in the
cheap
hole.
ass bullshit. but
I was
we'll move
down.
on
I was down 3-1. I had Cell within 1 hit, but Piccolo does not do key in this game. Like just a regular
Yeah.
key blast. He does his special beam and hell grenade, but
Yeah.
he does like, his arm extends. Cell hits me with an ultimate finisher, which is literally just half a circle to the right plus R trigger, and takes 3/4 of my health bar away and kills me. When I had it 1 hit away, I threw my controller across the room. Haven't played it since. I was like, I texted Dalton. I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I put in enough time in this. I'm done.
Wow.
Overall, I say it is a good game, but I prefer Xenoverse in
Yes.
the 3D opposed to the 2D.
It doesn't capture like this is the last thing I'll add to this. It doesn't capture like what it would honestly feel like, in my opinion, fight in an actual like Dragon Ball Z fight.
Well, I feel that like the Xenoverse games probably encapsulated that feeling way more
Oh,
because of
yeah.
the being able to move around the environments. Like
Yes.
2D in a Dragon Ball game, like the concept behind it is interesting, but I agree, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like that would be how
Yeah.
it would actually play out in the show. Which
Yeah.
I know, like I've seen, like you can deflect stuff and it'll shoot into the background and
Yeah.
destroy some of the background, and like
Which is cool.
The ultimate moves actually like change the scene and stuff like
The
that.
destructive
From what I've
finish.
seen,
They went a different direction on this, and it's cool, but it's as far as 2D fighters go, it's great.
Yeah.
But it's not a Dragon Ball fighter, in my opinion.
I will have a bit to tell this next week because my buddy that I game share with did end up picking it up, but I just haven't had a chance to try it out because this weekend was wrestling related, so I spent most of my time doing that.
Yeah. Overall, if you like the 2D fighters, it's worth going at it. And
absolutely.
if you love the DBZ franchise, it is also one. But me and Dalton agreed, until this thing comes on clearance, we will not probably own it.
Okay,
So,
all right,
Not for me. But anyway, who wants to go next?
I'll go. So I have EA Access, and they put out the trial for UFC 3. I haven't played a lot of it. I spent about, I'd say, 2-3 hours this afternoon kind of messing around with it. I'm almost exclusively played the career mode and tried to work with my fighter that way. I really like it. Like, they've done so much to make it feel like an RPG career mode, which made me very excited to dig in more. I probably will eventually own this game, being money bags and all. But
he's probably taking on the Persona guy.
but no, what I was telling Boots and Dalton before we started recording that it's kind of interesting because the first 4 fights in the career mode, because you start off in like a Joe Schmo, like it's like the World Fighting Alliance or something like that, and I got my ass handed to me 4 times in a row. I was 0 going into the end of my quote unquote rookie career. Because once you win a fight, then Dana White shows up, and if you win the second fight, he'll sign you to the UFC, but you have to win a fight to get to that point. So I just kept losing, but the reason I was losing, I didn't realize until later, was between each fight you have to train, and you can boost your attributes, you can spar, you can promote on social media, which doesn't boost your attributes, but it boosts fan base, and actually makes your fights feel better. Scale. The thing with like boosting your attributes and training, you have a percentage that you have to hit that says you're in moderate fighting condition, peak fighting condition, or you can actually overtrain and be over conditioned. And I didn't realize that you have to basically get as close as possible to that 100%, or the fight is not going to go your way because your set is going to drop so fast that you got your ass handed to you, and that's exactly what happened to me. Once I was able to figure that out, though, I have not lost a fight since. I'm either 4-4 or 5-4. I can't remember. So it's really interesting. It's a different dynamic, like I said, at that RPG element of it's not just, oh, here's a fight, if yours is better than heads, you're gonna yours, you're gonna lose. You actually have like a give take and can actually kind of turn the tide of the fight your way depending on how you train prior to it. So I really like it. I want to play more. I'm definitely at least gonna play the 10 hours I have available in the trial. Whether I most likely will eventually pick it up, maybe not on launch day, once it gets a little cheaper, because with EA titles, which we'll get into EA later, but with EA stuff, it generally drops in price over time.
Very quickly.
Like a month I could get being somewhere and I pick it up. So, but that's honestly, other than Monster Hunter, which I'll hand over to Marlon, because he played what it sounds like way more than I did. But Dalton's played it as well. I've put about 4 hours into Monster Hunter as well. I really like, but Marlon, take it away.
All right, so as Jeff Moneybags has said, I've been playing Monster Hunter. For the most part, if you enjoy this type of games where there's RPG elements, but there's a sense of, like, I have to learn the moves of this monster. I have to learn what it does and how it eats, how it behaves. If you love that kind of stuff, then this game is for you. Honestly, it's the most rewarding experience that I had when it comes to killing a big-ass boss in a long while. The one thing that I enjoy the most for Monster Hunter is the customization options that you have in the game. For example, it's like Dalton didn't like it as much for the same reason that I like it a lot, which is it's quest-based. It's if you're just playing by yourself, it's going to be fun, but it's not going to be as fun as if you were playing with a bunch of friends.
It's definitely designed for a multiplayer game. I'm pretty sure that all Monster Hunter games in that way as well.
But But like examples, like do a quest, beat a monster, you get the loot, you go back, you have a better armor set, and you go kill a bigger monster, which is basically the core game. Some of the most beautiful things that can happen when playing with friends is that, for example, yesterday I was playing with Goose and a friend of ours, and basically what happened is like he shot the fucking boss tails off. I go in there with a fucking bow, hit him in the neck, and hit him in the neck. The guy falls off, and then we starts hitting that crap out of this boss. He gets off, starts shooting poison all over us. We get freaking annihilated. We're like, oh shit, we gotta go and regroup. All of a sudden, this huge other freaking Tyrannosaurus comes in and starts eating the boss. It's like, holy cow, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
The one thing that I didn't like about the game, though, is that, which I'm calling it Navi 2.0, is the fact that when you're in the hub of the Astera, if you are not doing the quest that they're allowing you to do, you always keep hearing, hey, listen, hey, come here, and it gets really frustrating. I'm trying to figure it out.
I just did my first expedition, like, right before we started recording, and I noticed that, too. Like, I was just kind of, like, exploring. They're like, oh, these are open-ended. You can go and find stuff, but the quest was designed to where I have to basically put another base camp on the one that and I would say probably every 30 seconds they're like, hey, over here, hey,
it's like,
over here. And I'm just like, dude,
really
I'm just
annoying.
looking around.
Yeah, leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
So that's my, like, cons.
It's like going to a carnival or Cedar Point and walking down one of the gaming sections, and everybody's wanting you to play their freaking carnival.
Basically,
games.
yeah.
It's for me that the one thing that I loved about the game is like the customization options and the way that each weapon handles. Like no weapon in the game is alike, and you have to put in the time. You have to put in the effort of learning each single weapon. But once you do, it opens up the game a lot. Like if you enjoy, for example, if you're playing with a group, every person has a role, and every person. Once they learn that role, it can make the fight harder, faster, or just much more enjoyable.
Yeah.
I think I put about 15, 20 hours into the game. It just came out like maybe 2 or 3 days ago.
Friday.
So I've been playing a lot of it, and probably I will be.
It's definitely good.
If you like
to play more, I just haven't had the time.
If you like Dark Souls games and you like the methodical, like strategy-based games, then this game's for you. If you're not kind of player, you're not gonna like it. No matter how much time you put into it, if you don't like that kind of like slow pace, fast pace sometimes, then you're not gonna like it. For me, enjoy it.
Like it gets a lot of comparisons to Dark Souls, but I mean it actually preceded Dark Souls in a way. But the way I think it kind of, like you said, kind of ties into that style of game. Is the fact that when you're doing these animations, like when you're fighting these bosses, once you start going through an animation, it's kind of hard to stop. So you could be swinging and the monster moves, and you're just swinging your sword to nothing.
Yeah, which is whiffing. So you're whiffing the whole entire animation of the hit, and you're like, oh shit, and the monster will make you pay for it. The monster is faster and stronger than you have the time, and will fucking make you pay for it.
Yeah.
Other than that, then other than Monster Hunter, I've been playing, Gran Turismo sports and a little bit of Destiny for the most part.
Cool.
So,
do you want to give your...
Yeah, I've actually been playing quite a bit. It's 4 games, in fact. I'm going to rattle off 3, then focus on the one big that I talk. I've been playing some more Forza Horizon. I actually unlocked the last festival, so I've populated the map some more. I played Ghost Recon Wildlands with my friend earlier last week. There was a new update that had come out, I think, a couple weeks before, where you get to face off against a Predator, and that's actually pretty cool. We haven't beat him yet, so that's cool. But the 2 games that I really want to talk about was God of War Ghost of Sparta. I've been playing it was originally a PSP game, but it was ported over to PS3, and I played that on Sunday, and Saturday. I woke up early Saturday. I did laundry, I came back, and I literally just sat down for about 12 hours playing the game. And I beat the game in one sitting. I got the platinum on it. And the reason I started playing these games was because I've never played God of War Ghost of Sparta or Ascension. And I'm like, you know what? I think last week they announced, Sony Santa Monica finally announced the release date of the new God of War.
Damn right.
Which is going to release on Yeah, when it's going to release April 20th, and I was like, you know what, man, I got to get back to these games and play them.
Yeah, I actually re-downloaded God of War 3 on the PS4.
Yeah.
I want to play through that again.
That's
that
a badass game.
That one's like particularly very short, so I could easily burn through that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so like I have all of the platinums for every single God of War game except for the Ghost of Sparta one, which I got on Saturday, which I'm going to be working through this weekend. And then I got God of War 3 on PS3, but I don't have it on the remaster, so I'm going to go for those. So that's one of my goals to get those 3 platinums. I have one already before April 20th. In regards to God of War Ghost of Sparta, even though it's a PSP port, it still holds up in terms of the gameplay, which I was actually pretty surprised. I'm like, yeah, it just feels like God of War. Playing it on hard for the trophy, I think I enjoyed it more playing it on hard than I would have otherwise, because I was stuck in this one section and I kept banging my head. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, it was so bad that the game, at one point the game said, hey, would you want to switch to lower difficulty? I'm like, what an insult. It's like literally you suck.
Games used to do that all the time.
Ninja Gaiden 2 does that after your first death. It's like, here, you've unlocked easy mode.
Yep.
And then Devil May Cry does it too.
Mm-hmm.
But I finally got the hang of it, and I learned parry. Once I learned to parry, it was pretty much a breeze. So it was a fun game. The game I really want to talk about is a very short game. I know a lot of people look down upon this genre. They call walking simulators. It's Tacoma by Stainer and his studio, Fulbright Productions, I think. He made Gone Home a couple years back, and he also worked on Bioshock 2, one of the really highly acclaimed DLCs, Minerva's Den, back in the day. But that game was something else. It's a narrative-driven story game. I really enjoyed it. One of the things, I'll just lay it out real quick. It takes place in a space station many, many years from now. I think it's 2088 or 2090. And something's gone wrong on the space station. And the corporation that owns the space station, Venturis, hires a contractor to go and retrieve the data left on the space station. And it's really cool because when you enter the space station as the player character, you receive this AI, which lays out like an augmented reality user interface throughout the entire space station. His name is Odin. And everyone who was in the space station before has like this body, like a body implant, where the user, the OS, the operating system, can show their conversations in real time that happened in the past. So you can actually see led up to how to evacuate the space station, which is really cool. One of the things that I didn't like about the game, and I don't know whether I should mention it, but I will anyway, was that all of the protagonists were minorities. Like every single one, there were 4 women, there were 2 guys, there was 2 gay couples, none of them were white. And I'm like, this game is literally screaming, I don't like the straight white male protagonist. In fact, the only straight white male was the antagonist, right? So I'm like, that's
awkward.
That's interesting. That's awkward. But what I can say about the game was, and it's to its credit, it didn't feel forced. Right, I only noticed after playing the game that I was like, I started thinking about it. I'm like, that's weird. But it didn't feel forced at all. They weren't cramming it down my throat. They weren't saying like, hey, we don't like the straight white male protagonist. But at the end, it totally felt like that. It's a really solid game. I got it on sale on the Xbox Live Store for $10. I totally recommend it. I won't spoil it. I really don't want to go into too many story details, although I would love in the future for everyone to play it and probably do a spoiler cast. I'd be willing to gift the game to folks on this podcast just to make sure they play it. That's how much I really liked it. But that's about it. Those 4 games I've been playing.
Sweet. All right, I've pretty much played everything these guys played. I played a little bit of Monster Hunter, a little bit of Dragon Ball. I said I gave my thoughts on Dragon Ball. I thought it was good. Not my game, but...
What'd you think of Monster Hunter?
Monster Hunter, I like it. I was playing with my cousin a little bit. It's pretty good. I think it's really boring if you're playing by yourself. But White Sun said if you play with people, like especially a few people in your squad or whatever, you can. It's a little bit more fun. I think it's got a longevity if you that way. But for me, it's just like simple. Get this quest, go kill the thing, which is I know that's what games are, and that's okay. But to me, that's not my thing. I'll get bored quick doing that kind of thing.
Makes sense.
So, just a great game, great combat. Dark Souls-esque a little bit, not nearly as difficult as Dark Souls, but it's still very difficult and challenging in its own way, for sure. But yeah, that's really all I have on that, because I only played it for about 2 to 3 hours, so I don't have as much time as White Sun. But I did finish that Telltale Batman game.
It was free on Plus.
Free on PlayStation Plus, yeah. They're really good, actually. The Telltale games are just usually pretty good in general. They're obviously story-driven games, and they do a good job with the story, so...
Hey,
yeah.
no.
Great game. It's a free platinum, too. I mean, that's not why I played it, but...
Might as well, right?
Yeah,
might as well.
Really good story in that game, actually. And Jeff, he's played part of season 2, so...
Yeah,
for that.
I'm 2 of... Because there's 4 episodes out, I've played the first 2 of them. I had actually almost played episodes 3 and 4 today, but I got that UFC trial, so I think I'd rather play that because it'd be something different to talk about. So.
Yeah, it only took me about 7 hours.
Yeah, they're not long games, but they're fun and they're interesting, and they tell... What I like about the Batman one specifically is it tells a different story than what you would expect from a Batman game.
Yeah, actually, I did not see that coming.
No,
so
it's very different. It's
good.
very mature, too, because there's cursing and...
That's something you almost wouldn't really expect from a Telltale game anyway. I mean... Kinda, but because you had The Walking Dead. And
The Walking Dead, like, they're all very violent, but coming off of like, The Walking Dead, it's like, oh, where this show that you're literally destroying zombies, like, going into a Batman game, you're like, oh, they're not going to really, like, touch on the violence part of it, but no, they totally do.
It was very,
Not when
it was very brutal, but...
Very good.
Yeah. Well, I think that covers everybody, then. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add before we move on?
Play Tacoma.
Play Tacoma? I actually, Goose, I own Tacoma. I have not played it yet, though, but I will now. After hearing what you said about it, I'm kind of interested more in it now.
Yeah. So we got to keep moving here a little bit. We've got a few things to talk about, Jason. So.
All right. So, do we want to start with the Game Pass stuff and then move into the segment?
We'll talk about the other thing here in a little bit. I think we start with Game Pass first, and then.
So this past week, Microsoft, in stunning fashion, announced that every first-party title that they produce will be on the Xbox Game Pass at launch day, included with the service.
And that includes Sea of Thieves.
State of Decay 2, Crackdown 3. They're all games that are slated to come out this year for Xbox. They also dropped
that the next Halo, the next Gears, and the next Forza will all be included in that pass as well.
Yeah.
Which, nobody's surprised, has confirmed the next Halo, Forza, and Gears.
Right.
Which apparently an Austrian video game company has refused to sell Xboxes now.
Yeah, I heard about this.
In the UK,
Yeah, they straight up like they're stopping selling Microsoft related products because of this.
And it sort of makes sense. I mean, this is a meta now.
This is big.
It's unprecedented. That's for damn sure.
It's unprecedented. It's big. I mean, if you look at the way console platform holders make money, they don't make the money on selling consoles, right? The margins on making money on consoles themselves are very, very small, which is why over the years you see iterations and you see smaller versions of the console, the slim versions, if you will, right? Because they pass those savings on to consumers, right? Then you see $32.99, $199. You know, you see it with PS2, you've seen it with PS3, you've now seen it with PS4. But the way they make their money is on accessories and selling games, either their own first-party game or the cut they get out of third-party games. And Microsoft is saying that's not how we're going to make our money anymore. That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
They're saying we're going to focus on a Netflix-like subscription model.
And it's cheap.
Yeah.
It's cheap.
And we're going to put first-party games on this service.
I think PlayStation now is in a bit of trouble, actually, because that's
PlayStation
cheap.
doesn't have anything they can counter with.
They have PlayStation Now, but they can't.
Which is not.
It's $20 a month, and it's mostly old games.
And
there's a lot of them, which is cool. But
not only just that, it's not. It's streaming.
Yeah.
Where the Xbox Game Pass, you straight up download that shit
console.
to your hard drive.
Yeah, so like me, as someone who primarily plays on a PlayStation, can kind of see a little bit of trouble for Sony unless they do something. I don't know what they would do to counter, but they're gonna have to.
They would have to basically turn PlayStation Now into the same type of service.
If this trend takes off, then they have to.
So this could hit like gaming stores.
Yeah,
game stores.
It's going to be pretty hard because of the fact that you have to go into the store and spend money on a physical game when you can just pay $10 a month and you get this use out of the game. So I see why retailers would be upset.
I mean, there is the caveat that these games don't stay there forever. So I mean,
They're gonna be there for a while.
but it's a.
But I would assume first-party games would,
Well, at least
though, if it's like
they'll
Netflix.
at least stay for like I would say a month or two at tops, just so that you can get the you know the taste
know,
of it.
man.
I see that the way I'm looking at it is they can get the taste of it. You can get a couple months worth out of playing it, see how you like it. If you think it's something you're going to play for the long haul. And then, but the nice thing with Game Pass, not only do you get to try these games for the $10 a month, if you purchase them digitally in the store, in the Microsoft Store, you get a discount on them too.
Yeah, discount, sure.
That's cool.
Yeah, I think it's like percent discount. So
This is gonna be huge.
I think it is. I think Microsoft's totally positioning themselves. I want to say above, but like Sony's interest in making money and selling games the way that the industry has historically done, and Microsoft is totally changing that. I mean, we've seen it with comic books going digital. We saw it with movies back in the early 2000s with the iPod, movies going digital, and Microsoft is shifting its business structure towards that. And I think that's a huge thing. I don't know where Sony fits in this.
Well, that's the thing.
they're
You
gonna
know,
have to.
the way I look at it is, you know, Microsoft isn't going to win a console war by trying to outsell PlayStation 4. It's
Yeah, they've
just
lost.
not going to happen.
It's over. Yeah,
it's
it's
never
over.
going to happen. Period.
They're not winning this console.
Unless literally PlayStation stops making systems, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, they're not going to win this console generation at all.
And
I still don't have the
Nintendo,
first-party titles yet.
exactly. And Nintendo is still doing their own thing and breaking their own ground with being this, you know, hybrid console and carving out their own niche in the market. And Microsoft was probably looking at themselves in the mirror, basically saying, "What the fuck are we gonna do to compete with these guys?" Honestly, this is not something I was expecting them. Damn smart business move.
Oh yes.
I'll tell you this. This seems like. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
This is like a very good move for Microsoft to just position themselves for the next console generation. This is basically they're saying, okay, so there's not much we can do for Xbox One X and Xbox One X, but we can position ourselves to be, you know, on the forefront for the next. And if this Netflix subscription-based model helps us, dude, I see them like rocking the
You
heck
gotta
out of
think about
Sony
it. If
the next couple of years.
Microsoft goes down this road, they do inevitably come out with another Xbox. If this is taken off enough, they could just, all they would have to do is partner the subscription with the purchase of the system. And if they've made enough deals with the third-party publishers where it's not just first-party games in there, but third-party games on launch day as well, if they make enough deals and make this a big enough service, all you would have to do would be like, all right, I'm going to go to the store and buy the new Xbox, and included with it for an extra, you know, $100 is the subscription that I get guaranteed the first year for free or whatever.
Or get this, if they do it like